Strength? Most people think it fades with age, that after a certain number of candles on the cake, you become weaker, slower, more fragile. But what if I told you, strength doesn't disappear? In this video, we'll explore what real strength looks like after 70, the kind that doesn't scream but whispers, "I'm still here, and I'm not done yet." I'll never forget the day I visited my grandfather a few weeks after we buried my grandmother. I expected to see him hollowed out, lost, maybe still in bed. Instead, I found him out back in the garden, on his knees, dirt under his nails, planting tulip bulbs. I asked him why. He smiled softly and said, "She loved these. I want them blooming for her in the spring." He didn't talk much about grief. He just moved through it, quietly, purposefully. That, to me, was strength. Not loud, not muscular, but sacred and deeply human. Now let's talk about something practical. What science says about aging and strength. After 30, we lose 3 to 5% of muscle mass per decade. After 70, this speeds up. Our bones thin, joints ache, balance becomes trickier. But here's the hopeful part. You can rebuild strength at any age. A study from Harvard showed that seniors in their 70s and 80s who performed basic resistance exercises twice a week had improved mobility, lower fall risk, even better cognitive function. And it's not just the body that benefits. Reading, writing, learning new skills, volunteering, these stimulate the brain and the soul. Your strength is connected to your sense of purpose. Physical strength matters, yes, but past a certain age, it's no longer just about the body. It becomes about your inner muscle, your ability to carry joy and grief in the same heart. Think about it, the strength it takes to outlive friends and loved ones and still find gratitude. The strength it takes to move slower, but not stop. The strength to accept the things you cannot do anymore and embrace the things you still can. Strength after 70 is often invisible, but it's in every breath you choose to take, when no one else would blame you for giving up. If you've made it this far, thank you. That alone tells me you're the kind of person who understands what strength really means. So I'd love to ask, leave a comment sharing the name of someone over 70 who inspires you. Or if that person is you, tell us what keeps you strong. And if you're finding value here, please subscribe to Golden Truths. We create stories that honor age, not as something to fear, but something to celebrate. Stick with me until the end of this video, because in the last few minutes, I'll share a truth about aging and strength that most people never hear, but absolutely need to. There's a kind of strength we don't talk about enough. The quiet kind, like waking up alone after decades of sleeping next to someone, making one cup of tea instead of two, folding laundry and finding one missing sock from a person who's no longer there. Or maybe your battle is your health. Getting up every morning despite pain in your back, your knees, your hips, swallowing medications, attending appointments, doing it all without complaining. This kind of strength doesn't win medals, but it deserves to be honored. Here's what I believe. Aging without purpose leads to weakness. Aging with purpose, that's power. Even if you're no longer working, you're still working on something. A relationship, a legacy, a life well lived. You can write letters to your grandchildren, record voice notes telling stories about the past, share wisdom with the young who are desperate for a guide. You can volunteer, paint, build, plant, pray, teach, listen. You can matter deeply, even in silence. The world tells older people they've passed their peak, but I believe your true strength often begins once the noise of youth fades and the clarity of age arrives. And now, as promised, here's the truth most people never hear about aging and strength. You are not fading, you are distilling. Your strength is not in your speed, or your size, or your stamina. Your strength is in your presence, your story, your essence. You've lived through things most people couldn't even imagine. Wars, losses, recoveries, entire generations. And somehow, here you are. Maybe walking slower, but still walking. Maybe laughing softer, but still laughing. Maybe loving more carefully, but still loving. Strength is not just muscle. It is what you carry in your soul and share with the world, even when your voice shakes. And if you're still showing up, still trying, still choosing to be kind, you, my friend, are stronger than ever. Strength is also about letting go. Letting go of the need to please everyone. Letting go of regrets you've carried far too long. Letting go of the fear that you're not needed anymore. And then, beginning again. Picking up a new hobby. saying yes to a new friendship, smiling at a stranger, letting your heart open even with all its scars. If you are still able to love, laugh, reflect, or forgive, you are incredibly strong.